You're too sensitive. Real men don't get upset when their girlfriends go clubbing and come home at 5 a.m. She said that after I saw her kissing someone in a club story her friend forgot to hide from me. I just deleted her contact. Now she's crying to everyone about how I gave up too easily. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I don't even know how to start this without sounding bitter, but I promise you, I'm not. I'm not angry. I'm not heartbroken. I'm just done. My name's Nate. I'm 27, work in IT, live in a quiet part of the city. I've always been the kind of guy who doesn't chase drama. I cook, I clean, I show up when I say I will. I'm not flashy, I'm not alpha, and I'm not one of those guys who thinks being a man means acting like a caveman. I just want peace, respect, stability. And Sasha? She was chaos wrapped in perfume and compliments. We met at a friend's barbecue. She was funny, gorgeous, wild in that way that draws you in like a moth to a bug zapper. I should have seen it coming. She loved going out, dancing, bar hopping, rooftop lounges. I wasn't much of a party guy, but I never told her not to go. I just asked for communication. That's it. A text. A heads up. Hey, I'll be home late. Something. But every time I brought it up, it turned into a passive-aggressive therapy session. One night, she came home around 5:20 a.m. I was half asleep on the couch. I hadn't meant to wait up. I just couldn't relax knowing she was out there, not answering her phone. When she walked in, heels in one hand, makeup smudged, smelling like vodka and sweat, I asked quietly, "Can you at least let me know when you're staying out that late?" She dropped her purse, tossed her hair, and looked at me like I was a toddler crying over spilled juice. And then she said it. "You're too sensitive." Real men don't get upset when their girlfriends go clubbing and come home at 5 a.m. I wish I could say I was shocked. But honestly, that quote, it was just the final brushstroke on a painting I'd already started seeing clearly. It wasn't just that one night. It was all the little things. Her phone always flipped face down. The way she got defensive when I asked innocent questions. The photos she untagged herself from. The way she never posted stories when she was out, but her friends did. And sometimes you could catch her in the background, dancing with guys she never mentioned. I wasn't asking for a tracking app. I wasn't asking for permission slips. I just wanted to feel like I wasn't an idiot sitting at home, cooking dinner for someone who was halfway out the door every weekend. But she always had a way of turning it around. "Don't be insecure. You knew I was social when you met me. Why are you being so controlling? I'm not doing anything wrong." I started questioning myself. Maybe I was being too sensitive. Maybe I was overreacting. But deep down, I knew. I wasn't mad that she went out. I was mad that she made me feel crazy for caring at all. That night, after she said the quote, I didn't respond. I just stood there, silent, watching her take off her makeup in the bathroom like nothing happened. She wasn't worried. She thought she'd won the argument. She didn't know I was already detaching. I went to bed without saying another word. I didn't even touch her. Just stared at the ceiling for hours while she snored beside me like a woman who believed she was untouchable. The next morning, she acted like everything was fine, kissed my cheek, grabbed her overpriced coffee, and left for brunch with her girls. And I sat there wondering how long I'd let myself live in a relationship where I felt like the background character in someone else's party montage. I didn't know it yet, but I was already halfway out the door. A week later, it happened. Sasha told me she was staying in that Saturday, said she was exhausted from life and just wanted to do a face mask, sip wine, and watch reruns of Grey's Anatomy. I offered to come over and keep her company, but she said she needed me time. Cool, no problem. I stayed home, made myself a late dinner, and figured I'd call it an early night. Around 11 p.m., I was scrolling through my phone when a story popped up from her best friend Tara, the loud one. Always drunk, always online, and never quite smart enough to check her surroundings before hitting post. The story was a messy blur of flashing lights, bass-heavy club music, and drinks clinking. Girls screaming lyrics to some TikTok song. I was about to skip it until I froze. There she was, Sasha, not in sweatpants, not on the couch, in a red bodycon dress, hair curled, laughing, clearly drunk, dancing with her arms wrapped around some guy I didn't recognize. And then it happened. The clip jumped to a second story, only 3 seconds, but enough. She was kissing him. Not some shy, accidental brush. A full kiss. One hand on his neck, the other holding her drink like she was proud of herself. Tara must have posted it without realizing Sasha was dead center in the frame. Or maybe she thought it was funny. Or maybe she didn't care. But I sat there, watching it loop. 3 seconds. Over and over. Her red dress. That guy's hands on her waist. The way she laughed right after like it was all a joke. I didn't feel rage. I didn't scream. I didn't throw my phone or send a long, angry text. I just stared. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't a "he kissed me" situation. This wasn't a prank or a joke or a drunken accident. This was someone who had no fear of consequences. Someone who genuinely believed she could lie to my face, kiss someone else, and come home the next day like nothing happened. I opened my phone, clicked her contact, and hit delete. Then I grabbed a small box, threw in the hoodie she always stole, the toothbrush she left at my place, and the tiny perfume bottle she forgot in my bathroom drawer. Put it all in a bag. I didn't leave a note. I didn't text. I didn't even block her. I didn't need to. I just vanished from her world without a single sound. No confrontation. No begging. No fight. I was done. And for someone like Sasha, who thrives on attention, that silence was louder than any screaming match ever could have been. I didn't ghost her to be petty. I left in silence because it was the only thing that felt clean. Sasha thrived on drama. She weaponized chaos. If I had confronted her, she would have cried, denied, twisted it around. She would have told me I was blowing it out of proportion, or worse, accused me of invading her privacy by watching a public story. I knew how the conversation would go. She'd cry, promise it didn't mean anything, say she was drunk, say it was just dancing, say she loved me. And then, 2 weeks later, I'd catch her doing the same thing again, only better hidden. So I skipped the part where I let her talk her way back into my life. I dropped her stuff off in a grocery bag on her porch at 6:30 a.m. Sunday. Quietly. She didn't wake up. I know, because she texted me around 10:43 a.m. like nothing happened. "Good morning, babe," face blowing a kiss. "Can we do photo night?" I didn't respond. At 2 p.m., "Did you sleep okay?" "I was thinking about you last night," pleading face, nothing. By 6:15 p.m., it had shifted. "Are you mad at me?" And then, "Nate? What's going on? Is this about last night? What did you see?" That's when I knew it hit her. She was scrolling through her own friends' stories. Probably saw the same 3 seconds I did. Probably panicked. Probably texted Tara in all caps. "Delete that story right now, WTF," but it was too late. I had already seen everything I needed. I didn't answer. I didn't block her either. That was the worst part for her. I left the line open. Let her sit in the silence. Let her keep trying. The next day, I got a paragraph. "I know how that video looked, but it wasn't what it seemed. I had too much to drink. I wasn't thinking straight. I was upset you didn't want to come with me. I felt neglected. I just wanted some attention, but it meant nothing. You know I love you. Please don't throw everything away over one stupid moment." Not once did she say, "I'm sorry I lied to you." Not once did she admit she planned the lie. It was all, "It looked bad," and "You're overreacting," and "You can't judge one moment." I screenshotted the message. Didn't reply. By day 3, she cracked. "You're seriously going to ghost me? After everything? You're such a coward. Real men talk it out. You always run the second things get hard. Grow up." That one made me laugh out loud. The same girl who once said, "You're too sensitive. Real men don't get upset when their girlfriends go clubbing and come home at 5 a.m. now wanted to talk about real men. No thanks. You don't get to gaslight me into silence and then complain when I give it back to you. By the end of the week, Sasha had officially entered damage control mode. I didn't respond to a single message. Not a text. Not a call. Not even the midnight voicemail where she was crying and whispering my name like we were in a movie. But what really tipped me off that she was spiraling? She changed her profile picture. Gone was the photo of us at the pumpkin patch last October, her wrapped around me like a vine. Replaced by a solo mirror selfie in full glam, captioned with a single word, "Healing." Oh, and the quote started. God, the quotes. Sometimes, people leave not because you did something wrong, but because they're too weak to love you right. Strong women intimidate weak men. If he wanted to, he would. She wasn't posting these for herself. She was posting them for me, hoping I was watching, hoping I'd feel guilty, hoping I'd come crawling back just to prove I wasn't the villain she was painting me to be. And I'll admit, some of our mutual friends reached out. A couple of them, well-meaning but clueless, messaged me stuff like, "Hey man, are you and Sasha okay? She seems pretty heartbroken." One even said, "She told me you ghosted her out of nowhere. That she was planning to talk to you about taking a break anyway." Right. Because when you want to talk about taking a break, the best approach is to lie about staying home, go clubbing in secret, and make out with a stranger while your best friend films it. But the thing is, I didn't defend myself. Not once did I explain. Not once did I send the video. Not once did I try to clear my name. I let her spin her story. Because deep down, people like Sasha always reveal themselves. You just have to give them enough rope. And sure enough, 3 weeks after I went no contact, the mask slipped. It started small. A friend of a friend told me she was venting about how hard it was to be loyal in a relationship where she didn't feel adored 24/7. Then came the comments about me being emotionally unavailable, too quiet, low energy. She had to shift the blame. She couldn't stomach the idea that she broke something good because she was selfish and reckless. So instead, she created a fantasy where I deserved it, where my silence was proof I never really cared. But none of it landed. Because the truth has weight. It settles eventually. She messaged me again a month later. This time it wasn't rage, or guilt, or quotes. It was desperation. "I miss you. Please, Nate. Can we just meet and talk? Just once. You don't even have to say anything. I just need to see you." I left her on red. And that was the final nail. Not a scream. Not a block. Not a fight. Just indifference. I could almost feel her unraveling behind the screen. Because when you're used to manipulating people, there's nothing scarier than someone who doesn't flinch anymore. I hadn't seen her in person since the night of the club. I thought that was it. Done. I thought she'd eventually get the message, fade out like a phase she never expected to end. But Sasha was too theatrical for that. Too addicted to control. To her, silence wasn't closure, it was a cliffhanger. And sure enough, one rainy Thursday evening, she showed up. Unannounced. Standing at my door like a ghost that hadn't gotten the memo, it was dead. She was drenched, no umbrella, just a hoodie clinging to her like it was part of her skin. Mascara bleeding into the corners of her eyes. She looked like someone who had rehearsed the moment in her head 100 times and still didn't know what to say. I didn't open the door all the way, just stood there, blocking the threshold. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice small. "No," I said. Simple. Flat. Clean. "Please, Nate. Just 5 minutes." "Why?" She blinked fast, like she couldn't believe I asked that. Like why wasn't obvious. "Because I miss you," she whispered. "Because I made a mistake." A mistake. Like she ordered the wrong sandwich or sent a risky text to the wrong guy. I didn't say anything. I just tilted my head slightly, curious what her angle was now. "I didn't cheat, okay?" she rushed. I danced with someone. It was stupid, and I didn't mean for it to happen. But I didn't sleep with him. I didn't even leave with him. I came home, Nate. To you. That should mean something. There it was. The warped logic. The technicality defense. As long as she didn't physically fall into someone's bed, it didn't count. "You lied to my face," I said calmly. "You told me you were staying in. You looked me in the eye and lied. And then you went out, got drunk, and let another guy grope you like I didn't exist." She flinched. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't curse. Just stated it, plainly. That was what made it land so hard. It was one night. It was one truth. And you broke it. She was crying now. Shoulders shaking, lips trembling, mascara running like black veins down her face. "I didn't want to lose you," she choked out. "You didn't want to, but you didn't care enough not to." Silence. Just rain tapping the railing behind her. "I was scared you'd say no if I told you the truth. So you gave me a version of you I didn't consent to love." That hit her. She reached out, not to touch me, but to beg. Like if she held her hands out long enough, I'd fill them again with the pieces she shattered. "Please. I'll do anything. We can start over." "I already did," I said. "Just without you." And then I closed the door. No slamming. No theatrics. Just the solid, unmistakable click of something being finished. The next week, I saw a TikTok she posted, something moody, filtered in grayscale. Caption: "He threw away 3 years over one mistake. That's how little I meant to him." She still doesn't get it. I didn't throw away 3 years over one mistake. She did. When she looked at a man who supported her, respected her, believed in her, and decided she'd rather chase 5 seconds of club attention than build something real. She wanted a real man who wouldn't get too sensitive about her coming home at 5 a.m. from clubs she lied about going to. She got one. And real men, we leave. We don't come back. We let the silence say what begging never could. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.